So over the last 6 months now, I've been rocking the Pixel 9 Pro XL. It's one of my favorite Android devices. It pretty much just packs everything that I want in a device. And I just love the build quality, the design, the Pixel software, everything about it is great. And Google just sent me over the Pixel 9a. So this is essentially a more cut down, affordable version. I definitely feel like it's gonna suit some of you guys out there who don't wanna dish out all the money for the more expensive device. So let's go ahead and unbox it. I'm gonna give you all my thoughts about this phone, and I'm gonna do a lot of coverage on my Instagram as well, so go follow me over there. So I've been testing and playing around with the Pixel 9a now for a couple days, and there's a lot of things that I'm super happy about. So let's talk about it. First of all, the price remains the same at $499. There's a lot of conflict and tariffs and price increases going on in the world, and so it's nice for Google to just stick to their guns and keep the price point the same, despite this phone being so much better than last year's A series. Okay, design-wise, I definitely do have some mixed thoughts, especially considering they removed what I knew to be the Pixel identity, which is the bar at the back of the phone. On one hand, I really like it because it is really simple and really clean, but on the other hand, it's also kind of boring, and I feel they kind of stripped away the identity by removing the camera bar. One thing I have to give to them is they made the camera module flush, so now there's no big module sticking out the back of the phone. You can put this down on a table and it's not gonna rock. Now there is a slight protrusion, but nothing much, nothing you're gonna notice. And what they've actually done is made the phone slightly thicker at 8.9 millimeters, and they've given it a slightly bigger battery at 5100 milliamp hours, which is, fun fact, actually bigger than the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which is insane. And they've made that camera module flush by doing so. But it still just looks oddly strange without the case. With a case on, it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, it's definitely gonna take some getting used to. Powering this device is the Tensor G4 chip, so it's super nice to see they put the same processor as the other Pixel 9 devices. You got 8GB of RAM, 128GB of base storage, and honestly, I'm normally a big phone user most of the time, but the size of this phone is really nice, and it fits perfectly into my hand. It has a 6.3-inch display with the hole punch at the top, fingerprint scanner under the glass, and it feels very close to a flagship build. It has flat, matte finish, aluminum rails, and the back is plastic instead of glass, so it's likely gonna scratch easier. But honestly, once you slap this thing in a case, you're definitely not gonna notice. The phone is also now IP68 water and dust resistant, which we didn't have last year on the Pixel 8a. So I feel Google really stepped up the game with this phone, and they made it closer to feeling like a flagship. But since the flagships this year are actually higher priced, it makes this phone easier to recommend, and it's definitely a good bang for your buck. It seems to be almost the same display as the Pixel 9, with the same resolution, the same refresh rate, the same brightness. You get a slightly worse color to contrast ratio, but the fact that it's rocking the same brightness as the other Pixels is crazy, because to me, this phone is actually brighter than a lot of other flagships I've tried out, especially brighter than my iPhone. Yes, there are slightly thicker bezels around the screen, and yes, it only uses Gorilla Glass 3 instead of Victus 2. But software-wise, it's still all there. There's no sacrifices, there's nothing missing. Gemini is everywhere on this phone. You still have Magic Eraser, Photo on Blur, Call Screen, all of those Pixel features that I find difficult to live without when I move phone are still here on this device.
Can you tell me about his style?
Okay, let's talk about his style. He's dressed for warmth, which makes sense for an evening by the water. He's got a red puffer jacket,
Warmth.
patterned shirt.
Can you tell me about the skyline? How's it look?
The skyline looks amazing. The lights of the city reflecting off the water create a beautiful scene.
And this phone still has 7 years of software security updates, so it's pretty much future-proof. Yes, it still does have standard Qi wireless charging, which is pretty slow considering how big the battery is on this. But with the dual cameras on the back, you have a 48 megapixel main sensor and a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and you also have night sight, and the camera experience is the same as on the Pixel 9. So you can think of the Pixel 9a like a Pixel 9 minus some camera features, plus a way bigger battery, and it's way cheaper. So It just feels perfect for the price. The other day, I went out in downtown Toronto and I took some photos at sunset. All of them came out great. I did take some RAWs and color graded them. I also just took some standard JPEGs, and all of them in bright conditions, dark conditions, came out looking beautiful. And this phone is obviously still rocking the amazing color science which Google has on all their phones. You still got great colors even in video. Video quality is definitely not amazing. You can definitely see the difference between the flagship models. However, it's still usable, and I definitely wouldn't bat an eyelid if I saw this on social media. And I wouldn't even hesitate to share video captured on this phone on my social media. The zoom camera also impressed me, especially considering there's no telephoto. Google's definitely doing some AI magic because it looked pretty damn good. In terms of the colors, there are 4 different colors of this phone to choose from. So you have black and white, as well as peony and iris. I personally like the black. It's all matte finish and it feels very minimal and simple. And it kind of goes with any color. So if you want to slap on like a red case or a blue case, it's all going to match really well with this device. The only thing to consider is we're now a few months away from the Pixel 10. And there's some leaks out there suggesting that the G5 is going to be a huge performance upgrade, meaning that the phone's going to be way more comparable to the flagships that Snapdragon has to offer. So if you're looking for the best performance per dollar from your phone, then yeah, you might want to wait out for that next lineup of Pixels. But again, they are going to be more expensive than this phone. This phone definitely doesn't feel like a major downgrade from even the Pixel 9 Pro. And comparing it to other budget phones or other mid-range phones like the iPhone 16e, it honestly makes that phone look pretty laughable. Considering what Google's managed to put in here, this is an all-around really great device for that price point. I'm going to be doing some camera comparisons on TikTok and Instagram, so if you want to follow me, I'll put my username on the screen. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing some more short form video. I post a lot on my stories about these phones, about all the phones and products I review. So going over there is the best way of just staying on top of all of my content. But I'm also going to be doing a day in the life video as well as more content on this phone on my YouTube channel. I really like focusing on the A series because I feel like it's just amazing value. And I know a lot of my audience, they don't have all the money in the world to buy the maximum, most expensive flagship out there. So considering that this is an affordable device, I feel like there should be more coverage on it. It's absolutely crazy that these mid-range phones get so much neglect, especially from content creators. There's just such a gap in terms of content made on these mid-range phones. But compared to the flagships, the law of diminishing returns, you're paying like double the price for a flagship, but it's not twice as good as this. It's like 10% better at best. I'll definitely be doing more content on this. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I did kind of put it together very quickly. Google did send me this out pretty late, so I know a lot of other creators, they were kind of on the bandwagon faster than me, but I tried my best to get the content out there. So yeah, let me know any of your thoughts in the comment section down below, whether you're gonna pick up this phone. And I'll also leave a link down there as well in case you wanna help support me. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.